Good morning, I'm Ferdi Salvador, and welcome to Industry Beacon, where we shine a light on the trailblazers, the disruptors, the titans of industry shaping our future. We're not just talking about success stories, we're diving deep into their hearts and minds to see what drives them. Today, it's all about retail. Since its opening doors in the Philippines about 10 years ago, Crate & Barrel has been a staple in many Filipino homes. From cozy to chic, the international brand has got you covered. And with the holiday season fast approaching, how are things shaping up for the company? Joining us now is Steven Ticzon, Vice President and Business Unit Head of Crate & Barrel Philippines. Good morning, Steven. Thank you so much for joining us here on Industry Beacon.
Good morning, Ferdi. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you know, Crate & Barrel is known worldwide. And as I said a while ago, you guys opened your first door in the Philippines 10 years ago. And where was that?
Yes, so 10 years ago, we opened our first store in SM Mega Mall. And right now, we currently have 3 stores. We have one in Makati and we have one in SM Aura.
Yes. You know, the furniture business is a cutthroat industry. How has it been from 10 years ago to now? What are the challenges and what are the successes you guys experienced from those 10 years?
Yeah. Certainly, as a brand, we've evolved as what the market looks at. Currently, our customers are looking for indoor furniture that could be for outdoor as well,
okay.
and materials that are more eco-friendly, right? Sustainable products.
That's interesting. When people are looking for indoor and outdoor use
Yes.
of their furniture pieces, are people delving into, you know, more outdoor spaces in the city or wherever they live?
Yeah, so certainly since the pandemic, there has been much more interest with regards to outdoor furniture. I think us Filipinos, we've learned to appreciate the outdoor more since the pandemic.
So I guess we were all cooped up and now everybody wants to be out there.
Yes.
That's interesting because you mentioned the pandemic. You actually opened an online portal here in the Philippines at the height of the pandemic.
We did.
What was that decision-making factor when you said, okay guys, let's go open it?
Right. So the reality is that, you know, our customers wanted our products, right? But yet our customers didn't want to come into our stores, right? Because everybody was afraid of COVID.
Yes.
So that being said, we decided, you know, it's time for us to invest in our online store, crateandbarrel.com.ph, which has been a success story for us, right? Primarily because we have customers in Cebu, in Davao, in Iloilo, right? And we obviously don't have any stores there.
I'm glad to hear that, you know, our other countrymen, Filipinos all over the country are looking into Crate & Barrel and bringing to their homes in the provinces. That makes me really feel good because obviously there's a huge market. But your brick and mortar stores compared to the online sales during the pandemic, of course, it's not apples to apples because people couldn't go to the store. But has it stabilized? Has it become 50-50 on online sales or brick and mortar sales?
Our online sales since the pandemic has consistently grown, if you will, right? Partly there is confidence in the market of our product, right? So previously, you would hear customers saying, hey, I want to buy an accent chair online, or hey, I'd like to buy an accent table online. But slowly, bit by bit, it starts to become the norm. And as I mentioned, right, we don't have stores outside Metro Manila, and so therefore our online business is the avenue.
Just like fashion, does furniture have trends?
It does, absolutely.
Like, what's the current trend that you've experienced or seeing now?
You know, I touched on a little bit earlier, right? The indoor-outdoor, that's somewhat a trend right now. The other trend is that we're seeing some Japanese-inspired pieces being made, right?
So we're back to Zen.
Yes, we're going back to a little bit more minimalist.
Okay, and how does that compare to the collection? Is it are you obviously either the designers and the creative minds behind Crate & Barrel have to forecast?
Yes.
So is it would they say, okay guys, we are going to go Zen this year? Is that the case, or is it because of the buying trend of your customers?
Well, partly there is how our principals react, right? And say, okay, what does the customer what are our customers looking for? What's the trend? And partly there's that decision where they say, okay, we need to start designing pieces that are more Zen-like, that are more minimalist, right? And so you'll actually primarily see that in our collections that's about to be released for spring-summer 2025.
Oh, okay, nice. Well, you are getting to your 10-year anniversary soon. With that being said, wait for customers to go to your portals or to your brick and mortar stores, or do you collaborate with a lot of interior designers, interior stylists, even architects?
We actually do both, right? We have close partnerships with some interior designers and architects, but at the same time, right, we run certain promos, right, to really reach out to our customers who are what I would say consider walk-in customers, right, who aren't necessarily working with interior designers or architects, but primarily just inquisitive and want to upgrade the looks of their homes.
Of course, you've got different types of customers, right? Do you have customers that go in and buy the whole gamut, or do you have customers that buy bit by bit?
Again, a little bit of both on that one, right?
Okay.
Because I think that depending on one's budget, right, we have customers that, come in and buy the entire collection and say, hey, I want to furnish my entire home, including my entertainment wear and serving wear, and so they buy the entire collection.
Yeah, because furniture is like heritage, you know what I mean? Like, for example, parents, with children about to get married or got married, or children going to school. I'm sure you see a lot of those customers going in and like, all right, we'll buy the whole thing. We'll buy a whole set for your condo unit because you're going to college or because you're married. Yeah. We'll buy the whole thing as well. Does that happen?
It does, but then at the same time, we also get starter couples, right? Starter couples who are just, it's their first home. They're looking to furnish their first home. So, from a budget perspective, they'll say, hey, you know what? I'll just buy a sofa and a coffee table today. And then a few months later, 6 months later, they'll come by and say, hey, maybe it's time for me to buy a rug or an accent table.
Okay, because around the world, retail is cooling down in some parts of the world. How do you feel about the forecast of retail, especially in your category in the Philippines?
Yeah. The retail landscape certainly is evolving, right? Customer behavior is changing. Digital transformation has been a part of it. But the market continues to be strong, right? There continues to be a demand, especially for the Philippine market where we're a very young population, right? There's a continuous need to furnish our homes, right?
Right, because there's a lot of, obviously, developers that are building a lot of new, buildings and even, estate living. Yes. What do you, I don't know if you've got the statistics for this, but do you get more building dwellers as customers or more like houses that people want to furnish?
It depends on the geographic location, right? So I would say that if it's more around BGC, it's more condominium dwellers, right? But we also certainly have a good amount of clients that are in Punta Fuego or in Anvaya or in Cebu, actually, as a matter of fact, where the demand is more furniture pieces for single-family homes. Okay,
there's a lot of people that are not savvy purchasing on a retail portal such as yours or other companies, for that matter. How do you bring your products to them, or do they come to Manila to specifically buy from you, or what's your strategy there?
They come to us, right? So the website or the portal has become actually also as a resource book, right? Because then there they can say, okay, this couch measures 100 inches in width, 50 inches in length, right? And then from there, they can specifically come to our stores and see the actual product if they want to touch and feel it.
Have you done a caravan bringing out the brand and perhaps pop up in different places in the Philippines?
Yeah, we certainly did. As a matter of fact, a few months ago, we were in Cebu, right? We were at the IPI Center. It was our first pop-up outside of Metro Manila. It was a success. But then at the same time, within Metro Manila, we do have pop-ups, right? And as a matter of fact, next week, we are actually in Rockwell in Power Plant.
Wow, okay, so that's interesting. At least for people like me who don't like to shop online as much as other people, I like to touch and feel the pieces that I buy. So at least you're bringing it to our countrymen in Cebu. Are there any plans of expansion?
Well, we're certainly looking at certain areas for next year, for 2025. We're still studying where would be the
next best. How secretive.
Can't tell you all the secrets, right?
But we love Crate and Barrel because, I see, every time I go to the store, I see some pieces. I'll be like wondering, is this made in the Philippines? Or do you have pieces made or manufactured here?
We certainly do. I mean, certainly do have certain furniture pieces. Recently, we had a bar cabinet that was made in the Philippines, right? But it's export-only quality material. But then currently, within our entertainment wear, we actually have a collection called Tundo Collection.
Right. Steven, we're going to pause for a short break. Okay, we'll get back to that question. And we're taking a quick break. Industry Beacon will be right back. Stay with us.
Up next on Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Welcome back to Industry Beacon. We're still joined by Steven Ticzon of Crate and Barrel Philippines. Before we took a short break, Steven, we were talking about pieces made in the Philippines, because a lot of, there's a stigma. If it's made here, why are we gonna buy it if it's a foreign brand? But in my point of view, that's great, because you're actually supporting Philippine-made products and on a global scale. Is this the same concept you guys have, or do you manufacture around the world?
We actually manufacture around the world, right? So our designers pick certain areas where certain pieces will be manufactured, and depending on the design, they then determine the best suited place where we can actually manufacture them.
Well, do clients ask for custom-made pieces from Crate and Barrel?
They do, but at this point, that's a service that we currently are unable to give.
Okay. As one of the largest furniture retail components here in the Philippines, I would say that because in terms of floor area and number of pieces, that's a unfounded claim, but I'm just saying it. However, is there a sustainable aspect to your manufacturing process?
Yes, there definitely is, and it's actually one of the key pieces that Crate and Barrel continues to pursue, right? For our sofas, we actually use FSC wood, right, which is a sustainable type of wood that goes through the Forest Sustainability Council.
And what other, what do you plant your own forests, or do you get certifications from different places for the wood? Or
we do get certification for the wood, right, to make sure that it's actually sustainable.
Oh, that's interesting. What about the other materials, fabrics? Because, for example, there is talk about certain fast fashion brands that produce inexpensively, but filling up our landfills.
Right.
Is there talk also in your industry with regard to this?
In terms of upholstery, right, the company currently is looking into recycled fabric, right?
Interesting.
But that's something that's currently not available yet, but it's currently under research and development.
Wow, because recently we had an interview with the country manager of Emirates Airlines. And they're actively recycling some of the items that they use on the plane. Like, for example, putting in pajamas, or in fact, recycling a whole plane and then putting on in retail. Is there a program for Crate and Barrel such as that?
We, from a sustainability perspective as well, right? One of the areas that we push also is Crate Gives Back, right? So wherein we partner with certain foundations, right? Then we give a certain % of the sales to these organizations.
Such as? That's so nice. I really champion that kind of effort.
Right. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to divulge
Okay, no problem,
the
no
foundation's
secrets.
Yes, secrets.
But are you going to be continuing this? Is this part of your core values as a retail store?
Yes. Create Gives Back is a program that we run all year round, and we continue to look for partners in terms of sustainability as well as giving back to the community.
Right. So within the 10 years that Crate and Barrel has been operating, what challenges have you encountered since you took over the helm?
I would say what I've seen over the last 2 years is that the supply chain challenge has been a big issue for us, right? Primarily, I think we're not the only industry that was impacted by this, right? So from our manufacturers, getting a backlog, right, as well as getting the merchandise here.
So
right?
it's actually the manufacturing aspect of this, that variable, and also the shipping variable?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
so
because
you feel like it hasn't stabilized yet?
Now it has, right?
Okay.
But looking back in the last 2 years, I would say that that has been our biggest challenge. Because when, again, going back to the pandemic, after the pandemic, it took quite some time before the factories were able to get up to speed again in terms of manufacturing. Then the second piece is then getting it into the Philippines, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
So you mentioned that kind of challenge. Now everybody's talking about AI and how it can help operations or companies foster more profitability with less effort. Are you integrating any AI technology into your operations locally or globally?
So two areas that we're looking at right now, right, one is to improve the customer journey, right, by installing digital boards across all of our stores, right, which will essentially allow our customers to see how their products would look in their homes.
Oh,
but then
interesting.
Then the other part is our gift registry, right? So we are also investing in our gift registry system so that then it helps our wedding couples register and have a much more online approach.
And Christmas is upon us, so that's very important. So has this been integrated already? Customers can use this kind of system?
We're about to launch it.
Oh,
in
fantastic.
the fourth quarter, yeah.
When are you going to launch it?
In the fourth quarter.
In the fourth
Yes.
quarter, great. In time, well, it is the
Burr months, yeah.
the Burr months already. But how do I upload? Like, for example, I have a space, right, that I'd like to furnish. Do I just upload like my layout?
Right.
And how does it work?
Yeah, I think you need to come into the store and then I can show you there.
That's dangerous. Because if I come to the store, I want everything.
Well, you should.
Well, I need budget for that, as you said. Talking about budgets, how do you define the price points of Crate and Barrel? Are we luxury? Are we affordable luxury? Or how do you define it?
We are a premium furniture brand, right?
Yes.
But we certainly have entry-level price points, right? Which I would say is budget-friendly, but then at the same time, you still get the same quality and design of a premium brand.
Great. So I've got one last question for you, and I always ask all my guests this. What's your biggest mistake?
My biggest mistake? I would say that, sometimes there are risks that you have to take, and some risks that I have not taken, I should have.
Interesting. That's a quotable. Thank you so much, Steven, for being here with us today. And I'm sure our viewers would like to go visit your stores and, see what you've got to offer.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me, Ferdi. Much appreciated.
And especially you've got Filipino-made products. It
we do.
Gives us a bonus to do so, right?
Yes. Support our countrymen.
Absolutely. And congratulations for your 10-year anniversary this year.
Thank you so much, Ferdi.
All right. So, that's it for today's show. I am Ferdi Salvador. Catch the Billionaire News Channel on Free TV Channel 31 and on cable via Cignal Channel 24. Thanks for watching the Billionaire News Channel, always on top.
At BNC, 12 noon doesn't mean break. But breaking news, biggest stories, and latest updates.
The headlines. Go has already left the country illegally. On the scene is Bea de la Cruz. Hanati joins us from the Batasang Pambansa.
Mai Rodriguez sums up the newsfeed for you halfway through the day. Newsfeed at noon on BNC, the Billionario News Channel.
Health and wellness, it's experimental.
Because I like the idea of a salmon sperm DNA on my face.
Beauty, it's experimental.
Oh my God, my wrinkles, I didn't know.
Even fashion, it's experimental. We're here to dive into the trends and explore the taboos and the daring. We're not just talking about it, we're testing it. It's like our laboratory. It's the Lifestyle Lab.
This is Pinky West, and it's a great opportunity.
Corina Sanchez, pagsasamahin ng isang agenda. Mondays to Fridays, 6 p.m. only on BNC, the Billionario News Channel.
पहिलेदेखि गर्नु मन थियो पहिला चाहिँ मेरो बाबाले गर्थ्यो के पहिला चाहिँ बाबा चढ्थ्यो के पहिला अनि बाबा सक्दैन फेरि बाहिरको मान्छेलाई थाहा छैन मलाई गाउँ यहाँको मान्छेले मात्रै थाहा नि त गाउँको मान्छेले नि थाहा छैन कस्तो भयो के भयो भन्ने थाहा छैन भन्छ नि गाउँको मान्छे सुटीहरूले त त्यो बुढीहरूले त नचढ बाबु नचढ भन्छ लड्छ भन्छ
मैले यही हाम्रो के अरे भिरमौरीको उसमा आउँदाखेरि 50-60 वटा हुन्थ्यो है अहिले आएर चाहिँ हामीले जम्मा 13 वटा मात्रै झार्यौँ पोहोर 30 वटा मात्रै थियो किन भन्दाखेरिमा यो मौसमको कुराले हो कि हैन वातावरणको हिसाबले हो कि यो पानीको हिसाबले हो कि हैन जति पनि जति पानीहरू जम्मा हाइड्रो पावरमा छिरिसकेको छ हैन त्यो भिरमौरीहरूले त अब उनीहरूले न पानी नपाएर हो कि के भएको हो कि त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरिमा हरेक वर्ष चाहिँ तल झरिरहेको छ
यात्रा त्यहाँ मिखाउँमै गर्छु